Okay, we're recording. So I don't consider myself an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs have to be creative, and I don't have a lot of creativity. When the college came to me and said, we're going to give you a class of 24 people in a room that holds 12, I had no idea how to do that. If you know how to do that, well, you should know how to do it now because you saw it happen. Didn't work so good, but we did it, sort of. My boss gave me the idea for it. Some people were successful with it. It didn't work for me. As you may have noticed, it didn't work for me. Luckily, I got some classroom time so I could kind of catch up for it. I did do an entrepreneurial business one time. I was doing my snack vending business, and during that period, they started the lottery in Texas. And to win the lottery at that time, you had to have 5 random numbers. You had to have 5 random numbers. That's 6 now, isn't it? So 5 random numbers. And I knew a couple of things. I knew, first of all, that people didn't know what random numbers were. And I also knew, I'd been on the carnival circuit when I was a preteen and teenager, and I knew that people who believed in luck believed that numbers you get from somebody else are luckier than numbers you make up yourself. As a matter of fact, it's impossible to make up random numbers for a person. A human being can't do it. If you just think up 5 numbers that you think are random, they're not, because you thought them up. I had a computer that would make random numbers for me, and I took card stock and put it on my printer and printed out postcards. I advertised I had these advertising sheets in the Metroplex, little stands all over town with the paper sales sheets, and people did garage sales and all kinds of crazy things. You could sell anything through those ads that you wanted to. Didn't cost more than a couple of dollars for 90 days or longer, maybe 6 months. Got a post office box that was good for a year, and I started advertising 5 random numbers for sale for $1. Send me $1, I'll send you 5 random numbers. My wife just had a hemorrhage over this. You're crazy. There's nobody that's going to give you $1 for even $1 for 5 numbers. What do you think? People are going to give me $1? Many. People aren't going to give me $1? That's on 2 choices. They are or they aren't. Yep, that post office box filled up with dollar bills. And I sat down at the computer and typed up the credit card, the postcard, printed out the blank ones, and I addressed it, put 5 numbers on it, shipped it off to the people. Now, I didn't make $1 million, which is what entrepreneurs always dream of, but I made a profit. And making a profit means what?
You're successful?
Close.
Well, it means that
You're in business.
Oh.
It means business. What do you have to do to be in business?
Make a profit.
I'll be cheerleader. Yeah. All you have to do is now, I had my snack vending business going, so I didn't make a special trip to the post office. I was out running my snack machines. I pulled in the post office, collected all the mail, went home, typed it up, put stamps on it. Next time I went out, I dropped them off, or I could have put them in my mailbox, and the postman mail carrier would have picked them up. But when I was out in town, I drove by the post office, dropped all my cards in. Really, practically no expense. I didn't need more than, let's see, the post office box was the most expensive thing. That was probably $5 at the time. The stamps were about 6 cents at the time. The paper cost a penny. The ink from the printer cost a penny. And I don't know what time I actually used. I was going out and coming home anyway, so I didn't really count that. There was no extra gas, no extra wear and tear on the car. It took me, I don't know, a minute or maybe 2 to put people's addresses on there. The computer had already given me the 5 random numbers on the card, and form off an address. So that's my entrepreneurial thing. Nobody cares. It's not a big deal. But I had an idea, and I took it out. I already had my business started, so it was just another offer to people besides the snack vending. Oh, there it is, random numbers. So, why do you start a business? Well, I hope you start a business to make money, because that's what it's all about. And you need to make, not just make money, but you gotta make a profit as well. Independence, it was my business, I ran it the way I wanted to, nobody told me what to do, including my wife. Well, my wife did tell me some things to do. We got all of her favorite candy bars out there because we were storing them in the house. She could eat all the candy bars she wanted for free. And I paid her when she had to take my place on the route. Flexibility. I could work Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, whatever I want to do. I can only go to the company that I'm servicing when they're open. So that's a little bit rigid, but most of them were open 5 days a week, 9, 10 hours a day, so I built a schedule, so I was most efficient. Challenges, oh gosh. I could finish the rest of this semester telling you about the challenges. And that's the fun part, is you get a challenge and you solve the problem and you fix it and everything's better. I had a lady, one of my customers, who loved Hershey's with almonds. They were her favorite snack. And I made sure every day that she was refilled on Hershey's with almonds. And I kept her up to date. I don't think I ever got to 2 rows for her, but she was a good steady customer. I'd come by with the Hershey's with almonds and we'd chat. One day she stopped me and she opened up her wrapper. She says, look at this, and there were little white worms crawling around inside the package. Is that good? Okay, I said, let me have that. And I took it, I had bought those things at Walmart. Went back to Walmart and went to cashier, and I laid that out on the cashier's, and she almost fainted. She was like, ah, get that out. And then she called the manager, and I showed the manager, and he says, let me just tell you something, we'll give you, now, he didn't know how many I'd lost. He said, we'll give you a 6-pack. They came in 6-packs, I think. We'll give you another package to make up for your losses. You know, I didn't lose any more than that. You know, probably lost less. But he says, let me tell you, every almond has a worm. Anybody like Hershey's with almonds? Anybody like almonds? Yeah, you'll want to eat them when they're fresh. If you wait too long, the worms hatch. Learned a valuable lesson there. Watch my expiration dates a little bit closer somehow or other. And you got to keep, Hershey bars have to kind of be cool anyway. You can't put them out in the hot sun. They'll all melt and hatch out the worms right away. So I went back to the lady and told her, I gave her her money back to start with, and then I offered a free whatever. If we had anything to feed, she wanted to give it to her today. And I came back and told her the story about the almonds, and she said, okay, I don't want any more Hershey's with almonds. And I asked her for her second best candy bar, and we put that in the machine and gave her a free one right off the bat. Got your money back, got a free one, that's double your money back, an apology, and get to pick the replacement. Good customer service. Sound like good customer service? Yeah. That's all it took. Had a good customer as a result of that. I got more, but that's my favorite one to tell. Survival, if you're starving and you don't have any money, you can start a business. Now you need that $20 to pay the county when you file your application. But you can't be totally broke. But you could, if you had a lawnmower, you could go down the street asking people if they wanted their lawn mowed, and as soon as you got $20, you could run down and start your business at the county. You could just do that without a business. It's not necessarily illegal. You could wash cars. There's a bunch of jobs you could think of. Personal service things that you can do, pick up people's, I don't know, whatever. And you can get a business going the old-fashioned way, start at the bottom, work your way up. And fun. That random number business was the most fun I'd had in quite a while. Mainly because my wife had to admit that it worked. If you're not married, you don't appreciate that. But if you're married, you appreciate that kind of thing. Got gone over on the wife. All right. go. This is what it looks like. Attitude to change the world. And the next, I can't get them both on the screen at the same time. The next one will tell you. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's a Russian. And this is what he said at the bottom of your slide there. I suck at 99% of stuff, but I go all out on that 1% I'm good at. And this is Gary's story right here. And I don't know if you can read it from the back or not. I'll point out some the interesting parts of it. First of all, he's kind of a mix of entrepreneur and wealthy guy. My problem with him being a pure entrepreneur is, look at what he started with. His dad's store was making $3 million a year. Now, would anybody like to start out there? Would that be good? Bottom of the barrel? Yeah, I'll start there with it. I give it a shot. What I got to lose. But he came up, this was about the time of the internet coming into its own, and he created an e-commerce site using email and all the things that the internet will give you. And he took that, they don't have the time up there, yeah. 2005, 1999, 6 years, he went from 3 million to 60 million. Making a profit? Anybody want that? Now you get me good business people out there. In 2011, he announced he was going to build this media company, and he co-founded that with his brother in 2009. And then in 2016, they're grossing 100 million. Good family to belong to, right? Marry one of those guys if you're a woman. They take the shortcut.
Or if you got a daughter.
A daughter. Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's Gary. Now, the only reason I think he's not the true entrepreneur is he didn't start out with nothing to do that. I mean, his dad gave him a $3 million business. If you give me a $3 million a year business, I'll make a profit. I'll do better. And of course, timing. He came in right at the birth of the internet, so he was out there, one of the original people doing it that way. Kind of like me in the lottery. There was no lottery, nobody needed random numbers. And as soon as I heard that people needed random numbers, it struck me with like lightning to say, oh, and sell those. What a problem. Vision and self-reliance. I got the self-reliance part, I don't have the vision. We were very fortunate when we started the National Vietnam War Museum. We had one guy on the board of directors who did have the vision. And he drew up the vision, got pictures made, got artist concepts made. We started working on the budget, and he came up with a $25 million budget. And we couldn't do it. We tried, and we tried, and we tried, and we tried. We didn't know any rich people. None of us were rich. We couldn't get in to see rich people. And when we did get in to see rich people and told them what we had, we went back, we backtracked down to start at the beginning and do the first thing. And the first thing is buy some land. We found a piece of property. It cost about $30,000. And I went out with a program that said, be a landowner of the museum for a $1,000 donation. And in just a few months, we had $30,000 and paid off our note. Now we've got the money. Then we were waiting around trying to figure out what to do next. And the next thing we did was a garden. And then we did another garden. And then, well, we did the first garden. And these guys were watching us, a bunch of veterans in Mineral Wells area were watching us do this thing, and they knew what we were up to, and they had a memorial that they had made in Vietnam, and the North Vietnamese destroyed it when they invaded. And they wanted to build, it was a little wall they wanted to build with all of the members of their unit that were killed in Vietnam. And they just needed a little space, about the size of this classroom, and asked if there was any way we could let them have that space. And we said, sure, we'll give you the space. No charge, as long as we don't have to pay for your stuff. So they paid for everything, and they built everything. we got a free display. There's not another one in the world like it. The same guys, some of the same guys that built it in Vietnam built it at our location, the private historic memorial. We built another garden around it. One of our guys said he wanted to put a Huey on a 20-foot pole, so I said, okay. Didn't cost us anything. He did all the work and got people to help him for free, and raised a bunch of money from other people that made donations. I think Phil King, remember I think Phil King was the last donation we got. The only thing we didn't have was the rebar, and he paid for that. So we got a helicopter and a 20-foot pole, and we built another garden. Then we built the Vietnam Memorial Wall, half-size replica. That was a $175,000 project. Remember we couldn't raise $25 million? $175,000, I raised it in a month. And I'll tell you the secret to fundraising, you do it if you can do it by the book, and that's the best way to do it. You need to know the person that will be your lead donor. Your lead donor is going to give you 10% of the money. And I did know that guy, and I went to him and I said, you need to be the lead donor on this project, and I need this much money from you if you did it. And I knew the guy in Mineral Wells that I thought should be number 2, and I went to him and I said, this guy gave me 10%, I need you to give me 5%. And he did. And once you got that kind of money in, it's pretty easy to finish it off. Okay, all that just for vision, goodness gracious. Energy and confidence, I got that too. I went to Vietnam, I knew that I was indestructible. Have I told you that story already? Anybody remember that story? Everybody says, oh yeah, all you guys thought you were in. I said, if I could, and I'll tell you the same thing, if I could pile up the bullets right here in class that were shot at me, you would believe I was indestructible. That was a lot of bullets. It wouldn't fill the classroom, but it was a lot. Okay, so vision, self-reliance, energy, confidence, I got those two. Tolerance of uncertainty and failure. I'm not real tolerant of failure. I can't put myself in that category. Uncertainty doesn't bother me too much. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. There's no way to do that. If you think you know what's going to happen tomorrow, it's probably not going to happen. So uncertainty is built into our universe, our lives. It's there. You need to get used to it. Failure, not so much. Picture on page 115. No, it's probably not 115. Let me see. Page 115, still there. So if you like pictures, that's on that textbook. The term locus of control is used by sociologists, psychologists, management people in all kinds of different ways and values. There are two different ways. You can be motivated by yourself internally, or you can be motivated by other people. Now, if you're the kind of person that is motivated by other people, that's not good for being an entrepreneur. You need to have that motivation built into you. Do you jump up in the morning and rush off to school because you really want to be at school? Anybody want to vote on that? Do you get to school? Raise your hand, you're here. You got to school. So I jump up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get all cleaned up, dressed, have a cup of coffee, come to school, because now, as opposed to a few weeks ago, now I'm having fun at school again. I'm doing what I like to do best, and I'm trying to help you learn about business. I don't have an alarm clock. All right. The best way to fund your business is to be rich, like Gary. If you can't do that, then look at your family, look at your friends, look at anybody that you know, and see if there's anybody who will help you out with funding. You can put it on a credit card, but that's not the best way to get started, because that's a high interest rate, and if you don't pay it, it gets really bad. A loan from the bank is much better. I was able to convince a banker to loan me $10,000 for the vending business so I could buy all the equipment without using my money. And I paid off that loan from the profits of the business, so it didn't cost me anything. Depending on how you do your bookkeeping. Small business administration. These are people who help you start a business. There's one in Fort Worth, another one in Dallas. They're all scattered around the country. They want you to have a business plan. That's the first thing they're going to ask you. Where's your business plan? If you don't have one, sometimes they'll help you make one, but usually they'll send you down to the library or the internet today and say, go find out how to make a business plan there for me. And today, crowdfunding. Now, I have a free and a fee there. GoFundMe is not free. They take a cut out of your profits when you do a GoFundMe page. Some of these crowdfunding people do it for free, but I haven't found, gone looking lately, probably the majority, certainly the majority charge you a fee to do that, raise that money for you. If you have a really sad story, a sick child, maybe even a sick dog, and you get something on that website that makes people tear up or cry, you're going to make money. If you're just trying to build a Vietnam War museum, it doesn't work so good. So it depends on the topic, and it depends on the time of the year. Some little boy lost his bicycle, his brand new bicycle for Christmas, lost it in January. Somebody stole it from him. He got thousands of dollars. Buy all the bicycles he wanted. Here's the one you want. It's called an angel investor. An angel investor is a person who will give you all the money you need until you don't produce, and then won't get anything. They're out there. They're looking for things to invest in that are going to go over well. Anybody watch the television show Shark Tank still? Shark Tank people? Those guys are a form of angel investors. They listen to the story and they decide they want in, they just give you whatever money you ask for, they negotiate, and they get you started. You say you need $50,000, they give you $50,000, you go, and they help you build your business. The true angel is one that just pops up and says, here's your money. Find one of those. That's my advice. Venture capital firms aren't like that. They'll give you money, but they're trying to make a profit too. So what they're going to do is take half the profits. Market niches. The best thing to do is find a business that nobody else is doing. Now I say that, and that's the textbook answer. I've already told you that you can go out today and start a business mowing lawns. And lots and lots and lots of people are mowing lawns. It's hard work. It takes a lot of effort to get going well. But when you get to the point where you can hire somebody to do the mowing and all you do is collect the money and go get new customers, it gets pretty easy if you don't mind having employees. The snack vending business is still a possibility out there. It's getting pretty crowded, but there are small businesses that the big companies won't touch. And that's a niche. You can go find those small companies. Maybe you only make, I don't know, $20 or $30 a week off of it. But if you get a bunch of those people that you make $20 or $30 a week, then you can make hundreds a week or thousands a week, or work your way up. And if you start at the bottom, you provide good quality products, good customer service, you will grow. And as you grow, you'll make more money and you'll get referrals. People who know you will tell their friends, and those people will contact you and say, we'd like to get one of your snack vending machines, and you get customers without any effort. Good customers. Okay, what else we got? They've got personal customer service, lower overhead costs, and then they've got technology. Anybody in here good at fixing computers? No? Yeah. If you can help people with their computer problems, I think you could make a really good living by doing that. it's hard to get you started. You know, you get one customer and you fix their computer and you make a few dollars, and then next week you get another customer, but eventually you should be able to build up that business and make it go. The real opportunity in computers comes because computers keep changing. People get a computer, they learn how to use it, they don't need any help, and then they get a new computer, they don't understand the first thing about it. I just recently had to use a Apple computer. I haven't ever used one in my life, and had to use one here on campus to do something for, I'll download these videos is what it was. Anybody use Apple and other? Both? There's nothing the same. I couldn't find anything that was the same in mine. That computer is completely different, operates completely differently than the Apple computer I was trying to use. There's no carryover of knowledge. So. And there'll be new computers come out in just a few years that do something different. You've got to work really hard to stay up with it. Threats to small business. Let's not say small business here. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again in a couple of chapters. Half of you, not you, you're all going to succeed. Half of the people that start a business fail in 5 years or less. Within 5 years, 50% of the people that started a business are now out of business. So it's not small business, it's every business. Any business you start, 50% is going to be out of business. Maybe in this chapter. Lack of knowledge and experience. I've been on that one before too. Do not start a business that you know nothing about. The only thing I knew about the snack vending business was how it worked. You put a machine in there with candy and chips and snacks, and you keep it full. I knew that part of it extremely well. And I also knew a whole bunch about people. People will eat snacks if you put them out there. You have to keep them fresh. That's the big risk. If they go stale or they get warmed or whatever, you've got to have a discussion with it. Good customer service, quality product, it still works. Less money and more regulatory. No, that's not true. High health insurance costs. You don't have the high health insurance costs unless you have a lot of employees. There's a certain number of employees that you have to, if you have this many employees, you have to have health insurance for your employees. That's a government thing. Try to stay away from all the government regulations. Stay away from as many as you can. But you can have several employees before you have to deal with that insurance cost. There it is, it's in this chapter. You get over there by it. Probably doesn't show up well on the camera. I haven't seen one of these recently to know. So year one, 100% of the people have started. Year two, we lost 22% already. In 1 year, we lost 22%. Almost a fourth of the people are gone. 66%, 56, 50. What happens after the 50%? What do you notice about this?
Steady.
Half are gone, then what happens?
Then it's like a steady drop off.
I'd say it again.
It's a steady drop off.
Very steady.
Steady drop off? Well, a low drop off.
Close, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
and pretty much consistent a few every year after that, because the bad ones have already gone. And there's not very many left that don't know what they're doing. After 5 years, if you're still in business, it looks like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Find out what you're doing, not doing well, and improve, and then keep going. But they're still dropping. No guarantees in the business world. And that's a percentage down there. That's a percentage. It's not 3 businesses, it's 3%. What's 3% of one?
3.
It rounds off to 0. Okay. All right, come on, you get with me. Oh, which business do you want to be in? Well, this tells you which kind of industries do the best. So finance and real estate, 58%. Survive. Education, 56%, 56, 55, 54, 51, 40. So it looks like you need to be in the finance, insurance, real estate business. Most of them survive. More of them survive. Let's see, who was? Yeah. Talked about small business administration already, because it's on the other slide. Now, I've given you the two basic kinds of business, a franchise business and a business that you own. And here's a little comparison. And I use my vending business was real business, and the fireworks thing was kind of a franchise. So you can go through my stories and keep up with what's doing best. Let me see what I got over here. Yeah, I can see it better this way. I'm left-handed. So what's really good about starting your business from scratch, which is the real business thing? It's all you. You get to do it all. What's the bad thing about that? You're out there all by yourself. That's what, you know, if you can handle yourself, you're in good shape. When you get big, you have to handle employees as well. And my trick there would be to hire an HR manager who knew what they were doing. You don't have to deal with prior owned bad decisions. Yes, if you buy a company, if you start your own company, there's no history. Now, the bad news is there's no good history either. There's no history. It could just as well be on both sides. This one takes time, money, sweat equity to build a customer base, but when we're talking about franchise, where's franchise? Down here? This is established business. This is franchise. Starting your own business, you don't have to deal with the history, but if you buy somebody's business, you do have to worry about the bad history, the negative history that came from that whole business. If the old business was unsuccessful, you're going to have that held over your head as you take over the business. People are going to wonder if you've made the improvements or it's still the same. So you got to get out there and convince them that. Where is the... Oh, I got my head turned around here. Okay. So this was starting your own. It's all you. It takes time, money. You don't have to deal with the prior owner. We get that. Without a track record, people don't know. They don't know if you're any good or not. You haven't done it before. Nobody's been to see you, so everybody's wondering if you're any good or not. So you got work to do to get started, that's fine. Buying an established business. I'm trying to compare franchise with a business instead of what we're trying to compare on this slide here to get me off base. Buy one that's established. If they're doing good, if it's a good business that has a good reputation, now you get that good reputation to go along with you. You got a chance. People will come because they don't know that the owner's changed. If you've kept the business up to the quality, then you're going to get business really fast. If you buy one that has a bad reputation, I'll recover that. So basically, if you buy a business that's doing well and you don't mess it up, it's an easy road. If you buy a business that's bad, has a bad reputation, you could be in trouble. You've got to find a way to convince people that you're a new guy and that you're going to do it well. You get a sign up over there, under new management. Everybody ever seen one of those in town? Big sign says, under new management. Make sure that people understand and know that whoever was running this is not doing it now. And most people will give you a chance. If you do, first impressions make the greatest selling point there are. And selling and non-selling. You make a good first impression, people will come back. You make a bad first impression, you might not see them again. Most people will come as long as it's good, and if it gets bad, they'll go away. I haven't talked about the restaurant business. I don't know why I did skip over that. Restaurant business is one of the biggest businesses that people like to start. And most people that start a restaurant don't have the faintest idea of what they're doing, and they all make the same mistake. They start off with not enough money to keep going. If you're thinking about starting a restaurant, you need to know that you have to have enough money to survive 5 years. It takes 5 years for a restaurant to get into the profit side. As a general rule, not saying you can't beat that, not saying it's a guarantee, but you need to plan on having enough money to pay all the bills for 5 years, because that's when you can expect to start making a profit. There was a guy in Mineral Wells who bought a restaurant that's changed hands a half dozen times now. Bought the building, started a restaurant. He was an accountant from Dallas. He had no idea about how restaurants work, none whatsoever. Totally clueless. 2 years later, he quit. He was an accountant. He was losing money. He bailed out so he wouldn't lose any more. He didn't even give it a chance. 3 more years, he might have made money. Don't start a business unless you know something about it. And that includes knowing what it takes to make it work. You gotta have a restaurant, you gotta have a good menu and a good cook, and good wait people. Good food, good service. You gotta have both. And you gotta hang on 5 years to make sure you're gonna get there. Not my favorite thing to start. Okay. What's the next one? There it is. No, that's it. That was it. Tools for success. I've already talked about it. Experience. Learning from others, educate yourself. My first job was pumping gas at a gas station. The gas station guy was a friend of my dad's. He taught me the gas station business. I was 16. I knew how the gas station business worked. When I was 17, they opened a Baskin-Robbins ice cream store in town, and I changed jobs. No grease, no oil, no work in the hot sun, air conditioned, comfort, creature comfort, white uniforms to wear, and free ice cream. And that guy taught me the ice cream business. I was only with him a few weeks before I was what you call a shift manager today. And he and I used to sit there and chat about the business and watch other people work. Now, I'm 18, I know 2 businesses. I got a job at a meat market. It wasn't the best job in the world, but I got free meat, got free lunch. 18-year-old boys like free lunches, I think. Anybody in here ever been an 18-year-old boy? I learned about the meat market business. Don't eat the hamburger. Did I tell that story already? One of my jobs, I was a cleanup guy. And one of the jobs is cleaning up the hamburger grinder. Everybody should have that job. The 2 jobs you need to have. You need to have a job cleaning up the hamburger grinder, and you need to have a job where you clean the restrooms. Then you're ready to go. After that, I went to work for the city. And that's where you start to get into the good jobs now. You all know it, right? One guy with a shovel digging a hole, 3 people supervising him. You start off with a shovel, you work your way up to supervisor. Small Business Association we talked about. There's another thing called Small Business Development Centers, and they're the same kind of thing. You can go online and find these. I thought I had the websites up here, but I don't see it. I see it one time. There it is. There's the Tarrant County Small Business Development Center. Places to get help essentially for free. I never started the camera, did I? The Service Corps of Retired Executives. These are people who were executives in various kinds of companies. They know it all, they've done it all, they were successful at all of it. They will talk to you about that business if that's the business that you want to be in. They'll sit down and have a chat with you about all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's free. They require a business plan. I don't teach business plans. Our visionary guys at the museum knew how to make a business plan, and usually they're about this thick. That should scare away most of them. They basically grade you on how thick they are. Then they look and see if you got covered the right thing, but you got an index in the front that shows all the different chapters, so if they look at the chapter list, okay, then if they want to, they can look at the details. It is detailed. It is detailed. Where'd that details things go? Details. For the museum, we had to predict how much money we would make in the first 5 years. And of course, the first 2 or 3 years, you don't make any money at all, so that was pretty easy. But this guy with the vision came up with some numbers to put in there. How many people are going to visit the museum the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year? How much are you going to spend? What's your budget for the first 5 years? All in great detail. Your budget was detailed. Is it marketing? Is it utilities? Is it employees? Is it salaries? Is it this? Is it that? I wouldn't fill one out ever. Matter of fact, I've tried 2 or 3 times to start a business plan. I give up. I don't get there. I've already got the plan in my head. I know what to do. Snack vending. Buy the vending machines. They put them in stores for me. I didn't have to figure out that. They located them. They got locations for them and placed them out there. You fill them up with candy, you go check them. You dump out the quarters, you put more candy in. I knew the business from top to bottom. What I didn't know was the guy that found the locations wasn't real motivated to find good locations. I gotta share that story. I don't know what comes up later. He put one of the machines in a little motel that I never knew existed in town. And I went down to check on the machine, and there's a sign on the office door that says, if you need entrance, call this number. The door's locked. You can't get into the office until you call that phone number. Now, you're hungry, it's late, and you want a candy bar, and they're right inside that door. Are you going to call that number? No. Well, maybe you will once, but if nobody answers it, leave a message. You're going to get a candy bar?
It'd be
That's it,
last time we walked down the street.
As soon as I could get a hold of the guy that unlocked the door, I got that machine out of there. I went and found another place for it. And I reported that guy to the people I bought the machines from, and they actually offered to give me more machines, make up for it. And I said, no, more machines would kill me right now. I'm underwater. I've got to get this thing going. So just wanted you to know, I'll take care of it. And every time a machine wasn't profitable, I moved it, found another place. That's the other thing about the vending business. You got to find those locations. Most people don't like that. It's door-to-door sales is basically what it is. You go to a company and say, guys want a snack machine? Oh, we already got one. Oh, guys want a snack machine? No. Guys want a snack machine? Yes. Oh, okay. I'll bring one over.
Do you charge the company?
Do what?
Do you charge the company, or do you just make profit off of the?
No, we give them a discount.
Okay.
We paid a 5% commission in the first years. The guy that put me in business recommended 10%. That's pretty steep. Yeah, I think I got to 10% before I was all done. On some of the bigger companies and the people that were on the know or in the know about these kind of things. Well, I could do it for 10. Okay, I'll do 10.
So did you run it quarterly, or like how did you do that? You did it year end for you pay them their 5% or 10%?
Yeah, I don't even remember. I had so few of those. I might have paid them the day I counted the money.
Okay.
And I was out of business in 2 years, so if I forgot to pay them, it's okay. I didn't offer it. You know, it was one of those things. First thing you do is say, would you like a snack machine? Yes. Okay, you got one. Then some people had been through this a time or two, and they said, what's my commission? I give 5%. Oh. And then there was a guy 5% wasn't satisfied, he had to have 10. So there's a breakover point there where you're making this much money, and this guy wants X to give you the business, so how much is he gonna make? And when you're working off a percentage thing, even if you're making $1 million, now you're paying him $100,000, so it's not the best thing to do. But if you're gonna, it depends on how, and that goes back to your business goals. I was trying to have fun while I was waiting to move. I wanted to make a profit. It's another thing, fun for me. I like getting in my car and driving around town and talking to people. I still like to do that. So going out and refilling the machine was fun. And I made such good relationships with my customers that they would refer me to other people, and I'd get more business. And some of the business I got was really, really good. One of my first customers was a boat company, boat sales company. And I ended up working for the boat guy, making a commission on selling boats. It's just like selling cars. If you sell one, you make a lot of money. If you don't sell any, you don't make any money. Where am I at? Don't let me get too distracted here before we run out of time. Page 124. I put that in there because I didn't want you taking my word for it. I think we had this conversation early in the semester, but I can't remember who all I had that conversation with. Small business contribute to the U.S. economy. Small business is the economic engine of the United States of America. And when we shut the country down, we shut off the engine. The economy should have gone straight into the toilet, and it didn't do that. And it's still hard for me to understand why. But one of my friends who's knowledgeable in the area said, Jim, the rich white people still have money, and they're spending it faster than you can get it. His wife works in an upscale store, and they couldn't keep up with the business. There's so many people coming in the store to buy stuff. That's why the economy is tanking. Enough rich people to keep it afloat. But it absolutely, I don't think I have a sample. Let me see what that one is. Creates new jobs. Anybody know how many employees Walmart has? Roughly, ballpark? 2? 6? 1 million?
10 million.
Okay.
8 million?
Yeah. That company has a million employees. Now, how many of them don't live in the United States? Where are the Walmarts?
All in the United States, right?
They're all in the United States?
Is there some, that's what I'm asking.
Oh yeah, they're all over the world. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
And they only have 1 million?
Huh?
I'm saying they only have 1 million?
Yeah, I don't know how many employees have. Usually somebody in the room will do a study on Walmart. We'll find out at the end of the semester how many employees they really have. But you can look them up on your smartphone. They're pretty quick and see how many employees they have. Walmart employees. Yeah. There's another one of those global companies. So those people don't count that are overseas. They don't help us, our economy, they help Walmart's economy.
2.2 million.
Yeah. 2.2. So at least half of those are overseas, right?
50. It says it's the largest private employer in the world, 2.2 million employees. It is publicly traded, family-owned business, as the company is controlled by the Walton family.
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
Go into details. Okay. Well, Sam Walton's a buddy of mine. I used to preach about Sam Walton all the time. Somewhere along the way, I can tell you the Sam Walton story. It's still
His daughter lived in Mineral Wells, right?
You what?
His daughter lived in Mineral Wells.
She used to. Not in Mineral Wells,
Yeah,
but
on the
Mineral Wells,
outskirts.
mainly address, south of town.
Yeah.
Create new jobs. Okay, so one company has 1 million employees. That's a lot, isn't it? What if there are 1 million small businesses and each one of those has 3 employees? That's more than Walmart, isn't it? Walmart just went off the edge of the cliff. Yes. And there are that many small businesses and probably more than that. I don't have a number. You want to look up a number for how many small businesses in the United States if I do that?
They probably average maybe 5 or 6 employees.
A small business can have 25 employees. A small business can have 50 employees. There's a cutoff, and I don't remember what it was. If you want to look that up sometime, you can find out what the small business, where the small business ends and big business starts. But when you do the math, there's so many small businesses.
30.2 million.
30 million
Yeah, 30 in the US.
businesses?
30 million, yeah.
30 million.
And I think it's for.
They all have one employee. It still beats Walmart.
So I think what you were saying is like there's so many that categorize the small business, and I think it's different per state, because I know for my company, in the state of Missouri, we have 25 employees, but that's considered max for a small business.
Okay.
So I think it's different per state.
It could vary by state, but the federal government probably has a number.
Number of.
Yeah. But we already found out there's 30 million small businesses. They have one employee that beat Walmart. And they got more than one. Entrepreneurs might only have one for a while. I was a small businessman, I had one employee. Well, I had two, me and my wife. So that's, when I say that's the engine of the economy, look at what small businesses do. You don't see it because it's a small business, but when you put it together, when you aggregate it, it suddenly becomes significant. They didn't all go out of business either. Innovation, small businesses, people get a good idea, entrepreneurs get a good idea, a new idea. You start a little business, try to make it profitable. You hire people. Inner cities, I'm not sure about the inner city thing, how that's working. I'm from the Chicago area originally, and the inner city is doing quite well. The south side, not so much. Entrepreneurs are all over the world. Let's see, your book tells you that it's high in lower income countries, and small businesses also are popular in low income countries because there's no big money to fund a big organization. You start a little business selling sandwiches on the street corner, you make a profit, maybe you grow, maybe you don't. There's always small businesses out there that are doing things that big businesses can't. You know what, that's it. So,